the supplement industry is a very prostituted industry. People are plugging things that they don't believe in for $1, just for a quick buck. The word supplement means that it's there to supplement, to help your journey. It is not to replace food. A few friends of mine got so excited about the loading phase of creatine and the amount of muscle that they were able to put on. Most of it's water weight. I remember some of them had to get rushed to hospital because the cramps were so severe. Anyone who says they're boosting their immune system is questionable, because we don't want a boosted immune system, because a boosted immune system usually means an autoimmune disease. You have to have a bit of body fat to survive. Your brain is made out of fat, so when people say there's 0% body fat, it's laughable. Welcome to the Diet Doctor podcast, where we discuss the science of nutrition and high performance, offering practical tools for everyday life. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another episode of the Diet Doctor podcast. We're going to talk very briefly today, I'm going to talk very briefly today about supplementation, what my supplement schedule is and why it is the way it is. And first thing I want to say is that the word supplement means that it's there to supplement, to help your journey and to help you with your health and well-being. It is not to replace food. I have my own supplement company, shameless plug, moodup.com.au, moodup.com.au. We have a range of supplements, and the range is getting bigger, but they are not to replace food. They are not called replacements, otherwise they would be called as such. They are supplements. Now, the staples of the supplement industry is usually the protein powder. With protein powder, you want to make sure that there are no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, all of the nasties that usually go with it. Otherwise, if that's all you have access to or that's all you can afford, you're better off eating a meal, even if it's, not something that you would favor, because you're better off having food, even if the food is not perfect, than a very poor supplement. But the staples of the supplement schedule is the protein powder. Good quality WPI after training does wonders with regards to nourishing your muscles immediately after training and maintaining what's called nitrogen balance in the body, in the muscles, which keeps you in a state of anabolism instead of becoming catabolic after training. Because if you train and don't nourish your body afterwards, it's actually worse than not even training at all, because you start to potentially lose muscle. So protein powder is a great way, if you're not going to eat immediately within half an hour of finishing training. A shot of protein with some WPI is fantastic, whey protein isolate. And one of my favorite supplements and go-to supplements is glutamine, or glutamine, depending on how you pronounce it. But with glutamine, a lot of people used to take it in the past, specifically for the fact that the label used to say increases growth hormone by 400%. Now, although it does help the pituitary gland in the brain produce more growth hormone, or tells it to produce more growth hormone, the benefits that it has for gut health are phenomenal. And the benefits that it has to helping you recover is also great. Now, although the clinical dose may say 3 grams on the label, personally what I take, I'm not saying that, I'm not recommending that you do the same, is roughly 10 grams or 5 to 10 grams before training, 5 to 10 grams during with some BCAAs and EAAs, and then another 5 to 10 grams afterwards. The reason why glutamine is a focus in my supplement schedule is that it's the most abundant amino acid. The majority of your muscles are made out of glutamine. Now, there are 22 essential and non-essential amino acids, but they don't exist in the body in the same ratio. For instance, if you take 22 grams of muscle tissue, you won't find that there's 1 gram of each amino acid. It doesn't work that way. 2/3 of the amino acids in your body is glutamine. So it is probably the most important out of all. If you were going to use a supplement, it's great for your immune system. Research shows that it's fantastic for gut health, but gut health wasn't a thing back then. So if you go back 10 years, no one was interested in gut health. Greens powder and apple cider vinegar and things like that weren't common conversations, weren't topics of interest. No one spoke about probiotics and gut health in general. But glutamine has been fantastic for gut health ever since its introduction, really. So having a little bit of it before you train, if you take a pre-workout, not that I recommend pre-workouts, especially the ones that have ridiculous amounts of caffeine and anhydrous, but you would add glutamine to whatever you have before training, even if it's just with some water. With your intra-workout, your BCAAs and EAAs, electrolytes, always add glutamine and have it post-workout, even with your protein powder. Now, most protein powders do have glutamine, but you would add extra because the body will benefit from that too. Creatine is the other one. Creatine monohydrate has been around for a long time. I remember when it came out in 1996, a few friends of mine got so excited about the loading phase of creatine and the amount of muscle that they were able to put on. Most of it's water weight, but it does increase the fullness of the muscle bellies, so you have a fuller appearance to your muscles. They really enjoyed that so much that they continued with the loading phase even when you were supposed to stop. So the label would say, for instance, stop loading after, have 20 grams of creatine for the first, say, 5 days. So that's the loading phase. Then have 5 grams a day maintenance. And then after 8 weeks, take 4 weeks off. Because of the amount of weight that they would put on, or, it felt like muscle weight, and it feels good when you've got, your muscles are bulging, and gaining 3, 4, 5 kilos of muscle, of water weight on the physique, on the frame of a male, got these guys very excited anyway. And then after 5 days, they decided to continue the loading phase. However, creatine back then wasn't even monohydrate. It was like sand, and it sat in the stomach. And I remember some of them had to get rushed to hospital because the cramps were so severe, tube down the throat, and had to get it pumped out of the stomach. Now you've got creatine monohydrate. The protocol is still the same, but you would need an insulin spiking carbohydrate to make the most of it. If you're not taking some sort of a simple carbohydrate with your creatine monohydrate, the results are not going to be the same, and you're going to find that it sits in the stomach too long instead of being shuttled into the muscle. Now, there's a superior product out there. I'm in the process of producing it myself. It's called creatine hydrochloride. Creatine hydrochloride, you don't need 5 grams. You can take 1 gram or 2 grams, and that would suffice. And it doesn't sit in your stomach very long, and the bioavailability of it is very, very high. So that is a product that I'm looking forward to. That's one that you might want to try. If you're a regular creatine user, switch to creatine hydrochloride and give that a go. BCAAs and EAAs are very, very important as well. They were rated out of the most important supplements as the most important supplement out of an entire supplement stack. But in the past, it was just BCAAs. Research has shown that BCAAs are not as effective as BCAAs with essential amino acids, EAAs. So branched chain amino acids, the ones that the body cannot produce on their own, with essential amino acids, because that mimics the way that they exist in nature. Now, if you combine BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, with EAAs, essential amino acids, it sort of mimics the way protein exists in real life, in nature, through dairy, through meat and meat byproducts. And the bioavailability of that, or the benefit of it, is profound. And it's not just about muscle recovery and muscle growth. There's a lot of immune benefits here too. There's immune support, not immune boosting. Anyone who says they're boosting their immune system is questionable, because we don't want a boosted immune system, because a boosted immune system usually means an autoimmune disease. So we want to support the immune system, and these things help support your immune system. They help support recovery, and they help prevent you from fatigue and hitting a wall. That is one of the most important supplements. I'm looking at the powders now: creatine, glutamine, BCAAs, EAAs, pre-workouts. Hydration formulas are a massive one now. I'm in the process, my manufacturer thinks I'm a nutcase, because I'm actually putting nootropics and blood sugar stabilizers or regulators inside my hydration formula. So other than having just a regular medical grade hydration formula, which is very important, and we're starting to realize the benefits of hydration formulas in all realms of sport, whether you're playing tennis, whether you're a marathon runner, or you're just a regular gym goer, especially the person who fasts, whether you're fasting for religious purposes or intermittent fasting. Hydration formulas have a massive now in the supplement industry. What I aim to do is to introduce nootropics, which are cognitive enhancers, things that we used to use back in the late 90s at uni to help us prepare and study and focus for exams. Things like alpha GPC, acetyl-L-carnitine, which is not just good at getting your body to use fat for fuel, but it's also got some cognitive benefits to it as well. And things like chromium picolinate. Chromium is a fantastic supplement at regulating blood glucose levels. When your blood glucose levels are regulated, you're more likely to absorb nutrients into the muscle. The food that you eat gets absorbed as building blocks, as opposed to being stored as fat. You get more nutrition from the food that you eat. Your blood sugar is regulated, so you're avoiding fat storage and increasing nutrient uptake, something that is very, very important when it comes to day-to-day life and day-to-day dieting. Now, when it comes to supplements in the form of tablets or capsules, the multivitamin is essential. A lot of people say, okay, but my diet's pretty much perfect. Why do I need my multivitamin? Our food is not what it used to be. If you're eating everything organic and you're living off the land, then you're probably not micronutrient deficient. But for the rest of us, there's a good likelihood that you're micronutrient deficient. So a good multivitamin goes a long way. Have that halfway through your meal, because halfway through food, when digestion is at its peak, you're going to absorb more, and it's going to be easy to break down that sometimes really tough, hard tablet that is a multivitamin. Often I'll add what's called EPA-DHA. EPA-DHA is the active constituent in omega-3. When you take fish oil, you don't absorb fish oil. Fish oil has, there's omega-3, omega-6, omega-9. We benefit predominantly from omega-3. But again, the body doesn't absorb fish oil, nor does it absorb omega-3 as omega-3. It's got to break it down to something called EPA-DHA. So if you take a gram of EPA-DHA, it's far better than taking 5 to 10, fish oil tablets that are just will have trace elements of EPA-DHA. These things are great for lubricating the joints, like WD-40 on a squeaky hinge, on a squeaky door, but for the joints. So it's good at lubricating the joints. It's good at lubricating the neurons in your brain. It's good for brain health, protecting your heart from cardiovascular disease. So these are things that everyone should take, not just the person who goes to the gym and trains hard. Black seed oil is another one that is a fan favorite, and in our tradition, the Prophet ﷺ told us to have black seed oil, and the benefits of black seed oil and its anti-inflammatory effects are profound, especially the research that is coming out of late. Other than the multivitamin, the black seed oil, and the EPA-DHA, vitamin D is the big one. Although we live on an island, I think we've had one too many slip, slop, slap campaigns. So we're probably and we've become one of the most vitamin D deficient countries in the world. Now, although vitamin D is called vitamin D, it's actually a hormone. Very, very important for cellular function, very important for regulating your hormones, very important for your immune health, very important for avoiding chronic fatigue. When vitamin D levels are low, it's hard to get anything done during the day. Your brain doesn't function the same, your body doesn't function the same, and it's extremely, extremely important. In a latter episode, I will discuss sleep and the importance of sleep and regulating the circadian rhythm, and how vitamin D, especially from the sun, plays a major, major role in regulating our body clock and getting the most out of the day, feeling awake during the day when the sun is up, and then feeling tired when the sun is down, which is the way we should feel, and being primed and ready for sleep. This is supplements in a nutshell. It's very important because the supplement industry is a very prostituted industry. People are plugging things that they don't believe in for $1, just for a quick buck. And although the fitness industry is called the fitness industry, it is probably the most superficial, unhealthy industry that exists on planet Earth. It's completely antithetical to health. So fitness usually is synonymous with health. However, we have to be wary, because the people that are promoting certain supplements or promoting a certain lifestyle or posing on their Instagram post, with little to no body fat — you have to have a bit of body fat to survive. Your brain is made out of fat. So when people say there's 0% body fat, it's laughable. Anything below, I think, 3.7 or 3.8, your brain switches off. Now, it's a very superficial industry. It's an industry that I used to compete in. I competed in natural physique contests for a long time and bodybuilding and things like that, and even judged some of the IFBB shows in the past. However, it was hard to continue doing so. The more you learn about health and well-being, you've got individuals on stage with a pretend smile and telling you this is what the epitome of health looks like. And that person on that particular day, at that particular point in time, is probably one of the unhealthiest people on the planet. So be wary of where you get your information from, whether it's genuine, disingenuine, whether that person is qualified to even be giving you that information to begin with. And not everything you see is what it seems. There's a saying, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And that statement couldn't be more true with regards to the fitness industry. So just be very wary of where you get your information from, where you get your sources from, and who you listen to, and whether they are genuine or not. And the fitness industry in particular, I have never had more clients to work with than people that are still competing or have left competition. Not going off on a tangent, supplements and that world go hand in hand. If you go to an expo, a fitness expo, the theme is competition, supplements. So usually they go hand in hand. So that's why I wanted to touch on this topic, because a lot of the times, if you're a female and you're aspiring to achieve a certain look, or if you're a male aspiring to achieve a certain look to somebody that you look up to, be very, very careful. A lot of the time, that individual also has problems. Fertility is a big one. I've dealt with clients, males that are completely infertile and have been for almost a decade. I've worked with women that used to compete to try and help them get their cycle back of menstruation that they haven't been able to get back in check for 7, 8, and even 9 years. That takes a toll on the physiology of the body, but it also takes a toll on the mind. I've seen it and I've experienced it myself, and I've helped people deal and overcome the repercussions of that industry. So tread carefully, get your information from valid sources, from qualified professionals, and I wish you all the best, and I look forward to the next episode.